Hello folks, LA Little here with TA Today, bringing you neoclassical technical analysis on a regular basis, giving you trading ideas, setups, and thoughts about where this market is and where it's going. Let's get into it. Hey folks, I'm doing this April 1st. It's about a half hour before the market opens. As I look over here at the indexes, they're up about 0.5% or so. So a bit of a rally. They've come off the highs though already. They were up quite a bit more, and they just started to spike down as I got ready to record. What I want to talk about real quickly is the indexes first. You had on a weekly here, you had a big push up. You had the move down, right, which was Trump and the tariffs, and then he controlled the narrative, and he got this huge bounce started, and it never stopped. Well, now we've got the spike down again, and in this case, he doesn't really control the narrative, right? He's in a war, and yeah, he can pull out of the war, but what's left after it? Is the Hormuz going to be a toll booth for the Iranians to rebuild, etc.? Are they going to control it? It seems hard to believe that that's the case, but I don't know exactly what the end game is here, but that seems to be the case of what he's talking about, at least right now. But the problem is that this is a bounce. I don't see this being a move to new highs like we saw back on the tariff situation here, where it just kept going. You're going to get a bounce back into this bearish retest regen, and it's probably going to turn it back down again. You can get the top 2/3 of it. That's usually about how much they bounce in the first time. But then you're going to get some sort of bad news that's going to pull this thing back down. So, don't get too comfortable here. There's a speech tonight. I'm sure the market's going to try to rally into it. Buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. But you're going to get bad news somewhere down the line here that's going to cause this market to come right back at you. Now the index looks basically the same. And, I didn't say it on the S&P, but, the target's going to be this area down here, this retest region that's bullish and never been tested. And that's going to be true on both of them, and I suspect we're going to get there. So that's really where you want to watch. If we go over the oil market, this is what's controlling everything. This just set new highs again. On the weekend report, I talked about, the fact that there's the good potential for a bounce in the markets, but that oil had not made a high. It had not topped out. Well, this is a doji, so maybe something's happening here, but we don't know that yet. And so I think oil is the thing you have to watch when you're looking at these markets. What bounced the biggest yesterday? Well, it was the MAGS, right? The mega caps, and I'll just take the tech ones, but they were the big ones, and I don't have MAGS in this list. I'll stick it in and pop it up, and we had a huge rally here for 4.5% or so, right? Bearish retest regions are up above. This is the primary one. How far can this go? Maybe another 4 or 5%, and then it's probably going to try to roll back over. So again, all of these are going to give you the same answer. Every chart you look at is going to have the same setup, and that is that every one of them has bearish retest regions, untested in most cases, up above, and layers of them. When you have layers, you don't usually get over them that easy. Usually they're going to turn you back. First test usually turns you back itself. Layers takes you, gives you even more strength, if you will, of that layer. In other words, if it's on the bottom, that's support. There's buying support there. If it's up above, it's selling. That's layered up above you. So don't get too excited. Yeah, enjoy the run. I parceled into some of these things 2-3 days before this bounce took place. I'm parsing those guys right back out. I'm not going to hold them. So I'm going to take what profits I can on the way up, get out, and wait. And, hold the core things that I have, uranium in particular, which itself is struggling and which I'm trading around. But for the most part, it was a good quarter. Got to keep your portfolio near its all-time highs. Don't get sucked into drawdowns. You can't take this, hope that it's going to work, right? Watch the chart. Chart's going to tell you where the support resistance is. It develops over and over and over. You just have to pay attention to it. All right, have a great one. I'll see you next time.